Microsoft Word 2003, formatting large documents. Yes, those pages that are hundreds, maybe thousands of pages long documents. Can Word 2003 handle them? Absolutely. However, how about you? Can you handle scrolling through all that to try to find the place you need to edit? Sounds like you need some master and sub-documents to help you out. Anytime we talk about formatting our large documents, we are going to need to know how to create master documents with our sub-documents to make it easier to maneuver and to also make edits in parts of our document and yet not have to go and scroll through page after page after page to do so. Part of the way that we can do that is also to utilize the power of hyperlinks. Now, we've mentioned hyperlinks in the past. Now you get to see how to create them and utilize them. One of the first things that you will need to recognize about utilizing master documents and subdocuments is that you have to have the headings and your content in an outline form pretty much already and set up and ready to go. Because the master document is structured like an outline and you just have hyperlinks to all of the subdocuments that you have. So to do this, you are going to need to switch to a different view. Everything we've done pretty much down here has been in the print layout view. Here we're going to switch to outline view. And the first thing you'll notice is that we get our outline view along with our outline toolbar automatically included. And so what happens is I've used a document that already uses headings as part of its formatting and styling. And so I've already got, remember, this is our history of instruments, which we've been using on quite a few videos. We can do a lot with this big document. And you can see with outline mode, it automatically puts it into the different levels of the text that you have and the settings that you have. And the thing that you're going to do is, if you aren't already have the headings assigned to specific heading levels, like these are already assigned to heading 1, this is heading 2, and so we have that in different levels, you can go ahead and use the outlining toolbar by using the outline level right here. You can demote or you can promote. So if I wanted to select this one, this is normal, and of course I could demote this if I want to, and so it takes it down to a level 3, or I can promote it back up if I want to a level 2, whatever I need to do. So again, this is simply just a way for us to come in under the body text here, the outline levels of whatever we want to do. We can demote or promote it if we haven't put the headings in. Typically, though, what I do is I go ahead and put in my headings, and that's how I type it out. And then that way, when I create a master document with subdocuments, it's already good to go. It's already set up and ready. So one of the things that you want to do is, once you create your master document, you can then hide the subdocuments to make the master document easier to view and organize. And then all you're going to do is simply see these subdocument titles, like Persians and Greeks or ancient history or however you set it up. You can also open up the subdocument in the usual way, because these subdocuments now have their own files. And you can open up those, edit those, save them, and it'll still have a nice reference here in the master document. So that's the kind of theory behind it. So you can see here, we've got our title, History of Instruments. We have Ancient History as our heading 1. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is come over, and you're going to want to make sure you have headings set, whether you did it using the toolbar or you did it ahead of time. Before you get to outline view and did all this, try to get your headings put in place. So what you're going to do is go ahead and select the area that you want to create a subdocument. And you do that by selecting on one of these plus arrows right here. Now right now I just selected that one. Notice in the Middle Ages wasn't selected, so I go ahead and hit Ancient History. And over here it says, here's Master Document View, Create Subdocument. So I click on Create Subdocument, and look what it does. It puts these little gray boxes over it, and so I know that this is now a subdocument. So I can scroll down here, select Middle Ages, create a subdocument, not a problem. Come down, scroll, in Modern Times as well, and I'm going to create a subdocument of this as well. So now I have 3 subdocuments. I've got the Modern Times, I've got the Middle Ages, and I have the Ancient History set up and ready to go. So once we've done this, the next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and collapse right here the subdocuments. Now watch what happens. When I do this, it's going to say, do you want to save the changes to the master document, the History of Instruments master document? Now what's going to happen is it's going to then click OK. It's going to move the heading and text of each subdocument to a separate file, save the file with the heading as its same name in the same folder as the master document, and then now it closes all these subdocuments. And you can see right here that we have documents and settings, and it's put in my documents and setting, my trainer right there, example files, word examples, ancient history.doc, and it names it the title of the heading. This one's named for the Middle Ages. This one is named for the modern times. Now if I want to, watch this. I can go ahead and scroll down here. If I want to reset this, notice my screen is kind of hosing up there. It's kind of going, okay. So now with this, I'm going to hit Control and click. Now when I do that, watch what happens. It opens it up. Let me bring it down here so you can see it. My ancient history. Here's my ancient history. All the stuff that I had in that particular document is now its own subdocument that I can open up to. So I can close this. And the great thing about this is that now I can see the history of instruments, see each one of these documents, and I'm good to go because now I know exactly where all my different chapters are. This is really good if you're writing a book. Create a master document and then add all these subdocuments for the individual chapters so that way you can go in and edit the individual ones that you need to do. So, very, very cool, very important for us to understand that when we use this master document, when we hit that collapse subdocuments, it will save everything out, and now we can go and click on these links to the separate documents. Now, one other thing I can do here if I want to is go ahead and expand the subdocument so I can see everything. So this is still my master document. So when I click on expand subdocuments, look what it does. It opens up in all of my headings and all of my text that I have here. So I'm able to go ahead and go back and look at it as it would appear in that master document. Once I printed the History of Instruments master document, it would print all of this. It would go ahead and do that. And so if I'm printing a book or doing anything like that, but just to make it easier for editing, you just, of course, just hit the collapse sub. Now you can also make it a lot easier for you if you want to go ahead and just show the first line of the particular the heading information. All you need to do is click on the Show First Line button right here next to the formatting. You got show the formatting. You can update your table of contents if you have one. You can go to the table of contents. Here, show first line only. See, look at that. Shows only the first little bit of information on these particular ones. So really good stuff. Now, of course, you can take that off and then see the entire text. If you want to remove one of these subdocuments, all you need to do is click the plus sign on any one. So let's say we wanted to remove the Middle Ages. So I click on this one, come up here, and I remove the subdocument. When I do that, see, the boxes go away, and this subdocument will be part of the master document. It will stay here. Even if I collapse all of my subdocuments, look, Middle Ages still stays here. Meanwhile, down here, the rest of them I have my links that I have put into place. So this can remove it. If I want to make any changes to any one of these documents, again, you just control click. It'll open up that separate window with the new file, the subdocument file. I can make any changes that I want to. Go ahead and bold this, italicize it, underline it, do some changes here. Just do some simple font changes, maybe scroll here, grab this, do Garamond. Okay, so I made changes, right? When I click save, it will save these changes. I can go ahead and close this particular window, come back down here, and if I go ahead and expand the subdocuments of everything that I have here, you can see I've still got all my references, and check this out. All those changes I made are now appearing in my master document. Pretty sweet, huh? So you can go in and you can edit things separately. You can open up the file. You don't have to do it here from the master document like I did. If I wanted to, I could just hit File, Open, and then come and look for, was it Modern Times or Middle Ages? Here's my separate files here, and I could do that and open them up just like that. It works the same way. Now, one thing you notice with these sub-documents and these master documents is they utilize something called a hyperlink. Now, we haven't really talked about that too much, and this is probably as good a place as any to show you how that would work. Let me go ahead and scroll to the end of my document here. And I'm going to go back to plain old print layout view. So I've got it in print layout view, and of course now I can see everything. Let's say I wanted to add a hyperlink to Google so that way I can search for instruments. So I can say to search for instrument information, click, and then I put a space. I come up here to insert hyperlink. Now it says, all right, do I want to go to, and here's the important thing about hyperlinks. Remember, you can only go within the subdocuments, and cross-references can only link to something within a document. Here I can go to existing file or web pages. I can go to a place in this document. Notice it shows you where you want to go. I can create a new document to link to, or I can have it emailed to somebody. Let's do an existing file or web page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the text to display is here. Wow. Okay, now someone says, well, why here? Well, the address, the URL, or whatever page that you're going to use is going to be down here. So I say http www.google, and notice it says, oh, I know google.com. So now I click OK. Now notice when I say here, that's the end of my sentence. I click OK, and look at that. To search for instrument information, click here, and it's underlined with blue. That's the standard formatting for a web link, or a hyperlink, I should say. Because hyperlinks are more than just going to the web. They can go to other documents. They can go to places in your document. You can go to create new documents, create email. It'll open up a little separate thing saying, hey, do you want to mail somebody? I could literally say, to get more information, email Dan. And so we're going to have email Dan here. So I'm going to come up here to insert, hyperlink, email address. Text to display, Dan. Email address is going to be Dan at cbtnuggets.com. Subject, need information on instruments. Okay, so now here's my email address, here's the text to display, and here's the subject line when I fire off that link. So I click OK, and now look, here's my one hyperlink, here's my mail link. So if I hit Control and click, what it's going to do is it's going to open up your mail program, and look what it does. In this case, Word 2003 is my editing email for my Outlook, and it said, look, it populates the two. Here's the information, need information on instruments, and I can type an email to Dan and find out all kinds of information. Now I don't want to save it, so I click OK. So there we go, good to go, ready on to use our hyperlinks. Just another way to travel between our documents, travel to other parts of the internet. Word 2003 is awesome when it comes to making it easy for you to travel around your documents and the internet. So in this video, we got down to business on how we can make it easier for us to edit, maneuver, and pretty much organize our master documents, sub-documents, those huge, large documents that we have. Instead of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and jumping to page and hopefully getting to where we need, we can use these master documents and sub-documents to better organize our lives. Part of the way we can also do that, and master documents use these, are utilizing hyperlinks. Now we've seen them, we've used them already in the video series. Here we got to see for the first time how to actually insert them, create them, and make them the tool of choice when maneuvering in your large documents. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.